Okay, so how does state land means land without an owner. Okay, all lands originally belong to the state. In Commonwealth countries, it's normally crown land. We call it crown land. So in Malaysia, we call it state land. So it's the same thing. All lands in all countries belong to the government. Okay, that's the original owner. Then the government has the power to alienate, dispose the land, okay, to the people or to corporations who are eligible to own lands, okay, through these documents of title. Okay, so we want to learn how the state land can be disposed, can be alienated, can be given to people or corporations via the title. Okay, one. Okay, now land registration system. Okay, the first component of our lecture today, our first subsection. What is land title? The one that I showed you just now. Yeah, this one. What is this exactly? What is this exactly? This is just the document. Where? This is just the document of title. These 2 pages. This and this is just the document of the title. But what exactly is the land title? Okay, what exactly is land title? It's a form of registry. That's the keyword that we're looking for. It's a form of registry that shows the ownership of the land. Okay, who has the title is the landowner. Okay, but bear in mind the land, okay, there can be different rights on the land. So it's not just the title, but also other rights. So title means the ultimate ownership on the land, but there are also other rights associated with the land which does not come with the title. Okay, and we will see that what kind of rights we're talking about. Okay, just example is the air rights. Air rights, native customary rights. It's not a title, it's just a right. Okay? But you can see there we are talking, when we talk about land title, the title proves ownership of the land. Okay, how? Because it is registered. Okay, it is a form of registry. So anything that is registered is considered official, and therefore the document of title shows the owner of the land. Now, institution of property that arose due to scarce resources where everybody needs to compete for the resources. So the institution of land registry, because land is a scarce resource before, they realized that at one time, remember this is technology time whereby land cannot be increased, land supply cannot be increased. Say at that time land was scarce. Okay, therefore they need to allocate the land secara just, not equally lah, equitably, secara adil lah, everybody, and it's a system that can guarantee the right on the property. So it is an institution that is necessary for the development of the property industry. Now, when someone acquires rights to a property, the owner can stop intervention from other people on their property. And also the owner can transfer the property to others. So 2 things. Once the owner's name is on the title, he has the exclusive use and enjoyment of the property. So that means that he can exclude other people from enjoying his property. That's one. He can stop the intervention from other people on their property. 2, with the title, he has ownership, so he can transfer the ownership to another party. Without the title, he cannot prove his ownership, therefore he cannot sell his ownership to another party. Right? The title enables the proprietor to transfer the property to others. By the way, I mentioned the word proprietor just now, right? So the owner of the land is also known as the land proprietor. Under National Land Code, okay, instead of owner, we use the term proprietor, okay, P-R-O-P-R-E-P-R-I-E-T-O-R, proprietor. Okay, anyway, next one, okay, so there are 2 systems of land title. The first one is the title recording system. The next one is the title registration system. Okay, what are the 2? What's the difference between these 2 systems? Okay, one is based on recording all the instruments related to the land. This is normally identified by the English deed system, okay, which can be found to this day in countries like Hong Kong, and also some parts of Canada, not all parts of Canada, because some parts of Canada use the Torrens system, but some states, different states, such as Quebec, macam tu, they use the English deed system, whereby the register only records all important instruments related to the land. The registry, just now remember, a form of registry though, the register only records the instruments instead of recording the ownership. That's the thing. Okay, and the system is based on this principle, Nimodat quod non habet. Nimodat, or the Nimodat principle. Nimodat principle means states that no one gives what they do not have. So your ownership on the land must be proven before you can transfer the land to another person. Okay, and here, okay, again, let me just stress this fact. Okay, the English deed system only records the instruments related to the land. The registry does not record the ownership of the land. Okay, so means if there's any transfer deed, transfer document, the transfer document or transfer instrument will be recorded. If there's a mortgage instrument on the property, the mortgage instrument is recorded. If there's what else? Charge, mortgage, sama lah, charge mortgage. What else? Transfer, a lease, the lease is recorded on the lease instrument itself is recorded in the registry. And importantly, no one gives what they do not have. So if an owner, under the deed system, if an owner wants to transfer his land to another party, the second party, the purchaser, had the lawyer, especially not himself, the lawyer will have to do a very extensive checking on the title of the seller. Must prove that the seller really possesses the ownership. So the owner has to check one by one all the all the transfers to make sure that the chain of ownership is not broken. If somewhere down the line the purchaser's lawyer discovers a broken chain, then the lawyer will advise the buyer not to go ahead with the purchase, because there's nothing that the seller can transfer to the buyer, because the chain of ownership from before has been broken. You see there, the kind of the tedious work, the amount of time needs to be spent in checking all the ownership, the chain of ownership from one owner to another owner to another owner to another owner, all this until time memorial from the first alienation of the land. So this actually is what is the practice in some countries until now. The purchase of a possession from someone who has no ownership right to it also denies the purchaser any ownership title. So no one gives what they do not have. If the landowner just now, his chain of ownership has broken, was broken somewhere, katakan in the 18th century or the 19th century, he has no title now. There's no title, and if there's no title, he cannot sell it to somebody else. You can see that a lot of problems in terms of just now time needed to ensure the chain of ownership is not broken. The cost also, time cost of waiting for the verification of title. Lagi the cost that you have to pay the lawyer to do all this verification. What else? If there's a broken chain from before, then what happens then? A lot of problems are created. So it means that the current owner has to do something to rectify the broken chain of ownership. So a lot of problems with the title recording system. Okay, and that's why most countries realize that it is very complex, very tedious, very tiresome, very costly. That's why they prefer the second system, which is the title registration system. And the Torrens system is the brainchild of this Michael Torrens from Australia, a land surveyor who came up with a system which is so simple. He said, now we do away with the deed system. We don't have to check the chain of ownership until time memorial. What we do is the register is everything. The register tells you who the owner is. You must use these three principles so that whatever is on the title is final, is ultimate. You cannot question the title, the registry. You cannot question the registry, and you cannot question what is on the document of title. Take it as it is, or the land title itself. So what is the Torrens system? Is whereby the register gives an indefeasible title of the land to the registered proprietor. Indefeasible title means you cannot challenge the title of the land to the registered proprietor. Once the name of the proprietor is properly registered in the title, then he holds the title to the land. You cannot challenge his title, you cannot defeat his title in any court. So that's why it is indefeasible. So the root word here is defeat. Indefeasible means cannot be defeated or cannot be challenged. Okay, so Torrens system, the advantage over the deed system just now is where Torrens system is so simple. It's like whatever you see in the register, that's what you have. That is who the owner is. That is the land area of the land. That is the land use of the land. These are all the conditions on the land. These are all the the restrictions and interest in the land. Just follow whatever is given in the document of title. You don't have to keep on checking what happened before, Okay, so what are the three principles that I was talking about just now? A Torrens system, there are three main principles that make the title registration system a good one, a good system compared to the title recording system. Okay, I will show you in the next slide what are the three principles of the Torrens system. Now, this slide shows you the difference between the title recording system and title registration system. So on the left hand side is the English deed system. On the right hand side, okay, this one is what we have in Malaysia and in most countries that apply or that implement the Torrens system. Again, we have to thank Sir Michael Torrens from Australia for his brilliant idea to simplify the process of land registration, to come up with this thing called the land title, whereby the title is everything and the proprietor. Once the name of the proprietor is on the title, you cannot challenge his title. Okay, anyway, we look at this. This is the title deed. And we have here transfer certificate of title. So this title deed needs to be registered in the registry. This transfer certificate also needs to be registered. So all these, not just transfer certificate, but also, like I said before, charge, if there's any charge certificate, charge lah, whatever, lease lah, all this. So all these deeds, all these documents, the validity of these deeds need to be verified. All, and not just the different types, but also the different times. Semua tu. This one, just follow whatever is in the registry, just one only, because all the details, if there's a transfer before, okay, the old title, the old non-computerized system, the manual system did show you the transfer, but now no more. Now it's a very clean, this one, under the computerized system, computerized, what do you call it, title system in Malaysia is very clean, whereby if you look at the second page, okay, this is what it looks like. I'm sorry, but this is in Malay. Okay, for non-Malaysians, the document of title in Malaysia is not given in English. It's given in the national language, the Malay. Okay, now see here, this is the title details, the land details, the land details of the land. The title number, lot number, mana lot number? Lot number is here, lot number, title number, where it's located, the state, the district, okay, the city or the town or the mukim, Okay, what else? The land area, okay, the land use, the where you can locate it in the RSS, the survey sheet. Okay, if you want to buy the what do you call the layout plan, you can go to the Department of Survey and Mapping, and you can cite them this figure C274 and they will print you a site plan of the lot whereby you can see the boundaries, where the marking, sorry, the boundary stones, the what do you call it, the dimensions, the panjang, the lebar, whatever, you can see that. So whether it's leasehold or freehold, so in this case, this title is a leasehold, the expiry date, when is it, and importantly, must be under the hand and seal of the registrar. Mestilah ditandatangani dan dicop. Without this title has no effect. Okay. Any land title must be under the hand and seal of the registrar. Okay. So again, what else? The land, the express condition, the restriction in interest. You go to the second page. If you go to the second page, here, the ownership, the proprietorship, who is the current owner is here. So just look at this, you will know who the land belongs to. Okay. Like I said before, the computerized system under this one, record urusan. So all the previous transfers, the charge, the release of the charge, all will be handwritten below. But under the computerized system, it's a clean title, no longer being shown because of the three principles of Torrens system. This one. So we go to the next slide. One more slide. You will see the three principles of Torrens system. Now, so what is the Torrens system? The Torrens system is a system of title registration where the law guarantees that the person shown in the title displayed in a land register is the registered proprietor. You do not have to go and check again whether there is a chain of ownership. No, just look at the title, look at the second page. You will discover, or you will see who is the proprietor or the co-proprietors if more than one person or more than one owner on the land. Okay. As such, the land is secure in terms of ownership. That is, the government recognizes the ownership of the title holder on the land. Means the ownership is guaranteed by the government. So in theory, if there's any wrongdoing on the title, the government is supposed to reimburse, is supposed to compensate the owner. For instance, an illegal transfer. So the first one reduces the possibility of fraudulent land transfer. Second one minimizes the time and expenses spent for the investigation. And this one is the main disadvantage of the deed system, of the title recording system just now. You don't have to spend time, spend money to investigate the legal history of the land title anymore. You don't have to look at the chain of ownership anymore. No need, because whatever is on the title is the title. It's enough. Now, registration confers indivisibility of title. Okay, means once the name of the person is not proprietor, once the name of the person is registered, that person's title is indivisible, cannot be challenged. The landowner of the land will not be affected by claim on his land from other people who is not the registered owner of the land. Okay, this one. So you see here the three principles of the Torrens system. Mirror, curtain, insurance. Okay, what is mirror principle? It ensures that the register reflects legal interest on the land. Actually, there's two titles. Okay, document of title, there are two copies. One is kept at the registry, so it's known as the registry document of title. The other copy is held by the proprietor, by the owner. But that particular copy is known as the issue document of title, IDT, RDT. So there are two copies. Both copies of title mirror each other. Same details will be shown in both copies of title. That's with mirror principle. Curtain principle. Curtain principle means that once a registration occurs, unregistered interests affecting the land are not enforceable against the registered owner. Once registration occurs, and any unregistered interest can no longer be forcible. You cannot enforce, can no longer be enforced. It's not enforceable against the registered owner. It is not necessary to look behind the title to investigate previous interests. For example, a land just now. A land just now has been transferred, has been sold to another. A is the owner of this land. A sells his land to B, but he only sells, but never never registers the form 14A. Is the form 14A is the transfer form that needs to be registered for B punya title to be recognized by law, by National Land Code in Malaysia. So A transfers his land, sells his land to B. Okay, B pays off the full price to A, but A never, the transaction was never registered in the land office or at the PTG, never registered. Okay, A dies. A dies. A's land now is can be transferred to the anak, to the kin, to the next of kin, to the family members according to the estate law in Malaysia. So now in this case, A, because he didn't transfer, he didn't make the transfer, the proper transfer, the proper registration of Form 14A in the registry. Now B's interest is not recognized. B's interest is now only equitable interest. Equitable means something that can be proven, can also be disproved. Now, who has the better claim to A's land, to A's title? Is the son or is the family members of A? So that is the danger there. Because curtain principle prevents you from looking at things that are not registered. Okay? It's not necessary to look behind the title. Okay, and finally, so this is the third principle that in Malaysia we do not practice, the insurance principle. The insurance principle is the guarantee by the state that any loss that is incurred due to reliance on the conclusiveness of the land registry by a land chaser will be compensated through a statutory indemnity system. So it's like the name itself, the insurance principle. So there is a sum of money that the government holds to compensate people who experience any loss due to the reliance on the registry. Okay, next. It's now for components. Okay, what are the components? 3 components of Torrens system. The parcel section identifies the boundary. Remember our talk last week regarding the cadastral and the registration. So the parcel section whereby the boundaries, the boundary stones, boundary markers, that's under the cadastral. And giving it a unique identifier and describing the metes and bounds. Don't say I misspelled because I checked, I had to Google this. Metes and bounds is a surveyor, land surveyor punya jargon or term. Metes and bounds, normally the measurement, dimension, usually graphically by reference to a plan or survey. Okay, so this, the first one belongs to the cadastral, belongs to the Department of Survey and Mapping of Malaysia, the parcel section, whereby they are in charge of surveying of locating the putting the boundary stone and things like that, of putting the coordinates and things like that. Second one, proprietorship section. This is normally the second page of the title, whereby it identifies the owner. Then the encumbrance section. Encumbrance identifies any other interest in the parcel, such as charge. So when you make any loans to bank, okay, so there's a charge there, charge, satu gadaian, gadaian, charge. Now the landowner is the charger, the bank is the chargee, so the charge is registered, okay, in the document of title. Caveats, if any caveat, okay, again together with the charge, the bank normally will insert or will enter a caveat on the title. Caveat will freeze the title, will prevent any transaction from taking place on the title. Any transaction means cannot sell, cannot lease, cannot charge without the approval of the caveatee, the banks just now. An easement or a restriction. Easement, what's that? Easement is a right of way. Okay, a right to do something, right of way, right, a right on the land. Okay, so means sometimes there's a right of way or what else, right of light. In some countries, right of light, you can prevent another land from building too high until it becomes a barrier from light for light from reaching your property. Boleh. Easement, right of way. Restriction as to use. So restriction as to use, this is normally the first page. I showed you before, kan? This land can only be used as for residential use only, something like that. So restriction, 2 stories only, or what else? Kediaman sahaja, hendaklah dibidang pada 2 tahun, something like that. The land must be built, fully built within 2 years, or something like that. Restriction. The next condition. No, sorry, restriction as to use. Betul lah, restriction to use. This is confusing. There are 2 things on a title in Malaysia. One is restriction in interest. The other one is express condition. So express condition is the restriction as to use. What the land cannot be used as. That is in the express condition on the title. If I say express condition, that means there could be another condition, right? Another type of condition. So the other type is known as implied conditions. Okay, implied conditions do not appear on the title, but it's assumed that everybody must know and everybody must follow. And the implied conditions, normally there are 2. One is regarding the boundary stone. Boundary stone cannot be removed, cannot be destroyed. If it's destroyed or removed, you must replace it with your own cost. The other one is regarding the use of the land. If it's under whatever use, you have to do something. So it means if it's under agree, you have to fully plant the land within, or you have to start cultivation within how many months upon alienation, and you have to completely cultivate within how many years. So like that. Okay, the implied condition. Okay, anyway, Torrens system in Malaysia. So who administers? The district land office, the district land officers coordinated by the state PTG, the State Department of Land and Mine, normally located in the state capital. And who's in charge of this one, the first one, just a passer section. This one is the Department of Survey and Mapping Malaysia.